Join us on a thrilling mission to rescue 5 of the largest whales ever recorded, stranded and fighting for their lives. Today, we embark on a thrilling journey to rescue 5 of the largest whales ever recorded, stranded and in desperate need of help. Every moment counts as teams of experts and volunteers race to save these gentle giants from danger. How did these magnificent creatures end up in such dire straits? What challenges await those who risk their lives to return them to the deep blue sea? Stay with us as we uncover their incredible stories and witness humanity's relentless efforts to protect nature's most incredible wonders. 1. Rescue of beluga whales trapped in ice in Russia, 1984. Trapped under 4 meters of ice, 2,000 beluga whales in Russia's 1984 Arctic freeze. Saved by classical music and human ingenuity. In December 1984, a heart-stopping rescue mission unfolded in the frigid waters near Idigran Island in the Bering Sea, off the coast of Chukotka, Russia. Approximately 2,000 beluga whales were trapped under 4 meters of thick ice, their survival hanging by a thread. The relentless Arctic winter had sealed off their escape route to the open sea, leaving them with only small air holes to breathe. This harrowing situation set the stage for one of the most extraordinary wildlife rescues in history. The scene was both desperate and poignant. Beluga whales, known for their melodic calls and gentle nature, emitted heart-wrenching cries as they struggled for air. Their sleek white bodies moved sluggishly under the icy surface, a haunting reminder of their growing exhaustion. The villagers also attempted to feed the whales, tossing fish into the breathing holes, hoping to sustain them long enough for a larger rescue effort to arrive. The Soviet government soon intervened, sending the icebreaker Moskva to the scene. This massive ship, equipped to carve pathways through the thickest ice, became the whales' last hope. But navigating the frozen waters was no easy feat. The icebreaker crew faced extreme weather conditions, with blizzards and sub-zero temperatures testing their resolve. Every hour counted as the whales' energy waned, and the possibility of suffocation loomed. The crew worked tirelessly, their breath visible in the icy air, their determination unwavering despite the immense challenges. One of the most ingenious elements of the rescue was the use of classical music. The Moskva crew played symphonies through underwater speakers, hoping the sound would guide the whales toward the newly created channels. To their amazement, the whales responded. Drawn by the soothing melodies, they began to follow the ship's path. This unconventional method, blending science with creativity, underscored humanity's resourcefulness in the face of adversity. The sight of the whales following the icebreaker was both thrilling and emotional. For days, the crew and villagers had fought against time and nature, unsure if their efforts would succeed. As the whales moved closer to open water, their cries grew less desperate, replaced by a quieter, almost serene cadence. It was as if they sensed freedom was near. When the whales finally reached the open sea, the moment was euphoric. Rescuers cheered, their faces reflecting a mix of exhaustion and triumph. The belugas, too, seemed to celebrate, breaching the icy waters and releasing jets of mist into the cold air. For the villagers, crew, and anyone who followed this incredible mission, it was a testament to the power of compassion and ingenuity. What do you think about the rescue of a beluga whale trapped in ice in Russia? Leave a comment below. And don't leave your screen to continue watching the rescue of a beluga whale lost in the Seine River in a weakened condition. 2. Rescue of beluga whale lost in Seine River, France, 2022. After the daring rescue of thousands of beluga whales in icy Russia, a single whale's lone struggle on France's Seine River captured the world's attention in 2022. In August 2022, a lone beluga whale strayed far from its natural Arctic habitat, finding itself in the winding waters of the Seine River in France. Initially spotted swimming aimlessly near Paris. Over time, its condition worsened. It stopped eating, grew visibly weaker, and floated sluggishly in the murky waters. The challenge of rescuing the beluga was immense. Its position deep within the river, far from the open ocean, posed logistical and environmental hurdles. Experts from across France assembled, forming a rescue team of around 80 individuals, including wildlife specialists, firefighters, and police officers. The rescue effort required meticulous planning. Belugas are sensitive marine mammals, and any misstep could result in extreme stress or even death. The team's first task was to safely capture the whale, an endeavor fraught with tension. Rescuers moved carefully, using nets and boats to guide the beluga into a position where it could be gently lifted. The whale, disoriented and weak, struggled briefly before submitting, its deep, mournful sounds echoing through the night. Once secured, the whale was carefully lifted out of the water using a crane, a moment of nail-biting suspense for the team. Every movement had to be slow and precise to avoid injuring the animal. The beluga's smooth, pale body glistened under the lights, its labored breathing a stark reminder of its fragility. Rescuers monitored the whale's vital signs closely, splashing water over its body to keep it hydrated and cool. The truck moved slowly, flanked by police escorts, as the entire country watched the operation unfold in real time. Despite their best efforts, the whale's weakened state made the mission all the more challenging. Experts provided constant care, administering nutrients and observing its responses. The beluga's soulful eyes, though heavy with exhaustion, seemed to convey a glimmer of hope, a silent acknowledgement of the humans working tirelessly to save it. Upon arrival at the release point, the moment everyone had been waiting for finally came. The team opened the container and began the delicate process of reintroducing the beluga to open water. As it swam out into the sea, there was a collective sigh of relief and triumph. Rescuers exchanged emotional embraces, their faces a mix of tears and smiles. For the whale, the return to its natural habitat seemed to breathe life back into its weary frame. It lingered briefly, as if bidding a silent farewell, before disappearing into the depths of the ocean. The Seine River rescue became a story of compassion, collaboration, and the lengths humanity will go to protect the natural world. What do you think about this rescue? Leave your comments below. And don't leave the screen to watch the most exciting and thrilling part, the rescue of 120 stranded pilot whales in Sri Lanka, 2020, right after this. 3. Rescue of 120 stranded pilot whales in Sri Lanka, 2020. More than 120 pilot whales stranded on Sri Lanka's shores. Witness the incredible hours-long rescue that united a nation in 2020. In November 2020, the serene shores of Ponadura, Sri Lanka, became the epicenter of a dramatic and unprecedented rescue mission. Over 120 short-finned pilot whales had stranded themselves along the coastline, their massive bodies lying helpless on the sand. The sight was both awe-inspiring and heartbreaking. These intelligent and social creatures were clearly in distress, their high-pitched calls echoing across the beach. For the rescuers, it was a call to action that demanded both urgency and collaboration. The situation was dire. Stranded whales often face life-threatening challenges, including dehydration, organ collapse under their own weight, and stress from exposure. In this case, the sheer number of whales made the task even more daunting. Local authorities, including the Sri Lankan Navy and Coast Guard, quickly mobilized, but they soon realized they couldn't do it alone. The call for help spread, and soon, hundreds of volunteers from nearby villages poured onto the beach, ready to lend their hands. As the rescue effort began, the scene was chaotic yet filled with determination. Teams of people worked tirelessly, splashing water onto the whales to keep them cool and hydrated. Some volunteers sang to soothe the distressed animals, their voices mingling with the rhythmic crash of the waves. The whales, weighing up to 2 tons each, had to be carefully maneuvered to prevent injury. Rescuers used ropes, tarps, and sheer human strength to drag them back into the ocean, a process that required immense coordination and grit. The challenge wasn't just physical, it was deeply emotional. Many rescuers described feeling an overwhelming sense of responsibility as they looked into the whales' dark, expressive eyes. These creatures seemed to convey both fear and trust, their faint movements suggesting they were holding on to the hope of survival. For the volunteers, failure was not an option. They battled fatigue, rising tides, and the clock, knowing that every passing minute reduced the chances of success. The community spirit during the operation was nothing short of remarkable. Fishermen who knew the tides like the back of their hands guided the rescue teams, ensuring the whales were released in areas where they wouldn't get stranded again. Women and children brought food and water for the rescuers, while others formed human chains to pass buckets of seawater to keep the whales moist. After hours of relentless effort, the turning point came. As the first group of whales was successfully guided back into the deep blue sea, a wave of relief and renewed energy swept through the rescuers. Slowly but surely, more whales followed, their movements regaining strength as they swam farther into the ocean. Cheers erupted on the beach, a mix of joy and exhaustion as the final whale disappeared beneath the waves. This extraordinary operation is now considered one of the most successful whale rescues in history, a testament to the power of unity and compassion. For the whales, the return to the ocean marked a second chance at life. For the people of Ponadura, it was a moment of pride and a reminder of the deep connection between humans and nature. The memory of that day lingers, a story of courage and collaboration that will inspire generations to come. What do you think of this exciting whale rescue? Comment below to let us know. Don't look away, because next up is the thrilling rescue of 4 stranded killer whales in Russia, 2024. 4. Rescue of 4 stranded killer whales in Russia, 2024. 4 stranded orcas in Russia's icy Kamchatka. Witness the gripping, hours-long rescue mission against nature's harshest conditions in 2024. In October 2024, the rugged, icy shores of Kamchatka, Russia, became the site of an extraordinary and tense rescue operation. 4 orcas, a majestic and powerful species known for their intelligence and social bonds, found themselves stranded in a narrow river mouth. The orcas' predicament was not just a geographical anomaly, but a life-or-death struggle. Stranded in freezing waters with no easy route back to the ocean, they faced the real risk of dehydration, stress, and death. The rescue mission was quickly set into motion. Over 30 rescue workers, including marine biologists, coast guards, and volunteers, gathered on the scene. The orcas, helpless on the banks, seemed confused and stressed, their once sleek bodies covered with ice as they struggled to breathe in the shallow water. The cold air, combined with the rising tide, meant that time was running out. The team's first task was to keep the orcas hydrated and protected from the brutal cold. Using small boats, they maneuvered around the trapped orcas, dousing them with water to keep their skin moist and prevent frostbite. As the minutes turned into hours, the workers' hands grew numb from the frigid temperatures, yet their resolve remained unshaken. The orcas' breathing became more labored, and the rescuers could see the strain in their eyes, a mix of exhaustion and desperation. The air was thick with tension as the team worked tirelessly, their movements coordinated but desperate. They knew that any mistake could prove fatal. The orcas' pain was palpable. Despite the best efforts of the rescue team, each movement made by the stranded whales was an effort of pure willpower, their bodies rocking and heaving as they tried to stay afloat. Some whales struggled more than others, their massive forms barely able to lift from the shallow riverbed. The fear in their eyes was unmistakable, and the rescuers could not help but wonder if the animals understood what was happening. They tried to remain calm and gentle, speaking soothingly to the orcas, even though their own hearts were racing. Hours passed, but the team refused to give up. Finally, after painstaking hours of hard work, the orcas began to respond. With the help of the boats, the rescuers carefully steered the orcas toward deeper waters, closer to the ocean. As each orca was gently ushered into the open sea, a collective breath of relief was taken. For the rescuers, the sense of triumph was overwhelming. They had worked against time and nature's unforgiving elements, yet they had succeeded. The rescue operation in Kamchatka will go down in history as an incredible testament to human determination and compassion. And don't leave the screen to watch the most exciting part of today's video, which is rescuing a stranded humpback whale in Nha Trang, Vietnam, 2024. 5. Rescuing a stranded humpback whale in Nha Trang, Vietnam, 2024. A 15-ton humpback whale stranded in Vietnam. Witness the 7-hour rescue mission that united the community in 2024, is full of excitement and suspense. In May 2024, the serene coastal waters of Dien Thinh, a small village in Nha Trang, Vietnam, became the stage for a dramatic and emotional rescue mission. A 15-ton humpback whale, stranded on the shore of Dien Chau, had become a helpless giant in the face of the relentless forces of nature. The massive whale, which had ventured too close to the shore, found itself trapped in the shallow waters, unable to return to the deep ocean. Its enormous size made movement nearly impossible, and the animal's fate seemed uncertain as it struggled to breathe. The local community, however, was not about to let this majestic creature suffer. News spread quickly, and soon hundreds of local residents, marine experts, and authorities had gathered on the beach. With a clear sense of urgency, the group began organizing a plan of action. For many, this was the first time they had been part of something so extraordinary. The sight of the massive creature, struggling and in distress, left an indelible mark on everyone present. The first challenge the rescue team faced was the whale's size. At over 15 tons, it was an incredibly difficult animal to move. The beach was swarming with people, all working together to try and free the whale. The community was united in their efforts. Fishermen, villagers, local authorities, and marine experts all pitched in, setting aside their differences to work for one cause: the survival of the whale. The rescuers' nerves were frayed as they approached the whale, which was in evident pain. Its large, round eyes seemed to convey confusion and distress. It was clear that the whale was suffering, its body covered in sand and seaweed, and its breathing slow and labored. The pressure was mounting for the rescuers. Every minute felt like a race against time as the whale's strength slowly drained. The rising tide threatened to further trap the animal, and without help, it would surely perish. Despite the odds, the rescuers began working tirelessly for hours. They used ropes, wooden boards, and even bulldozers to try and shift the whale back into deeper waters. The team had to be extremely cautious, as the whale's immense size and powerful tail could easily harm someone. Every movement was calculated. While the whale appeared to be in agony, the team remained focused on their goal. The local community's resolve never wavered. The villagers, many of whom had never been involved in such a large-scale rescue, worked relentlessly alongside authorities and marine experts. It was a true display of human compassion and teamwork. As the hours passed, sweat and exhaustion weighed heavily on the rescuers, but they refused to give up. Finally, after 7 intense hours of pushing, lifting, and coaxing the whale back into the sea, the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. The whale, now free, began to swim slowly back into the ocean. The sight was nothing short of magical. As it disappeared into the horizon, a sense of overwhelming relief washed over the community. The whale, once on the brink of death, was now safe. These stories not only showcase the bravery and creativity involved in rescuing these magnificent marine creatures, but also highlight the crucial need to protect our environment and ocean life. Each rescue mission is a reminder of our responsibility to preserve the delicate balance of nature, ensuring that future generations can continue to witness the beauty and grandeur of these incredible animals.
Was er niet maar terug, dat lijkt.
My dad's family for Thanksgiving, and then I went up to Durham the day after, and then I got back yesterday. My dad's family for Thanksgiving, and then I went up to Durham the day after, and then I got back yesterday.
Oh, there's Audrey. I could have gone so